of the week. Today, it's the New York Knicks versus the Los Angeles Lakers.
It is a beautiful 74-degree day in Southern California, but a capacity crowd better than 17,000 turning out at the Forum. A look at the Eastern Conference. The Knickers, Childs losing his man. Oakley wide open. Yes. Childs with the puck. Here's Johnson. Well, we saw some.
But Eddie has the long arms, quick hands, and really has a good feel for the ball as Allen Houston finds the range from downtown.
Allen Houston feeling the pressure, able to get it off and hit.
Slow down stop.
Well, he faced the double team, was able to hit and draw the foul. You know, watching the game the other night in Seattle, it looked like Ewing was going back-to-back, was just laboring. He just looked sluggish right throughout, and the Knicks just did not react well to the double team.
Well, I talked to Jeff Van Gundy yesterday about the back-to-back situation, and you hear complaining around the league when teams have to do that, and as Jeff said, that is absolutely ridiculous. No excuse for the way they played the other night, and certainly not because it was a back-to-back situation.
Three-point play for Ewing, and the Knicks are up now 12-4. Van Exel setting it up on Childs. And Campbell stripped. Foul is called against the Knicks. Foul committed by Johnson, who was trying to help out.
It almost seems that Eldon Campbell gets the ball inside more than even Shaquille O'Neal when he's playing, but the entry pass is getting in there so easily. That time the Knicks got a little help from Childs when he first received the ball, and then when he put it on the floor, Larry Johnson coming down to try to create some problems for Campbell. But Eldon feels very comfortable in the low post. He has very smooth move, not a lot of messing around in there. He either takes it up with that jump hook very quickly, or he just drops the other way. And the simpler, the better, as Kevin McHale could tell so many of these young players, although he had a few more moves than most people, but try to keep it simple.
This is 8th start at center in place of Shaquille O'Neal. Eldon Campbell's intensity earlier this year questioned by Shaquille. There were hints that Shaq was looking for Campbell to pick it up a notch.
Well, Eldon really never looks comfortable when he's on the floor with Shaq. It almost appears that he doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know how to play off Shaq, and Travis Knight's done a better job.
Jones draws the foul, creating some excitement for the Lakers. Eddie Jones, who has had a sensational season in his third year out of Temple, putting the move on Allen Houston.
Well, Eddie doesn't get too many post-up opportunities, but he took advantage of it there as Allen Houston getting on his back, and Eddie knew what to do. Eddie is one of the most creative guys on the baseline, whether he's cutting without the ball or driving. He has ways of using the rim to get to the other side with reverses and able to hang in the air that extra split second.
Eddie Jones has hit on 34 of his last 35 free throws. So the Knicks with a 12-8 lead. Off the pressure, Childs had it stolen. Here's Jones behind. Well, the Knicks not reacting to the trap.
And actually, the Lakers tried to do it a possession before, and you would think that New York would have been ready for it. This is the way the Lakers have to play.
Ewing draws the foul again. 6-0 run by the Lakers to move within 2 points.
Well, in no man's land, Chris Childs picking up his dribble. The tall, long arms of the Lakers forcing that deflection, and the Lakers an outstanding open court team. And Jerome Kersey's not going to give you a lot of shots in the half court, but this is where he can help the team with his defense, with his open floor play, as Eddie Jones timed it beautifully, waiting for the cutting Jerome Kersey.
Patrick Ewing, who had the rough night in Seattle on Friday, also jams his left hand in the first quarter, although he says he's all right. But he's been playing well, averaging 26 per game the 3 previous outings. 4-point Knick lead. Campbell handing it off to Van Exel, and he was able to get it away, protecting it on Ewing.
And Eldon Campbell can do that, and that's difficult for a big man to actually put the ball on the floor and then make the nice little drop-off pass to Van Exel, who put it right in the face of Patrick Ewing, who should be able to knock that shot out of there.
Houston for three. And Exel wanted to run, but the Knicks got back. And Exel fires. Kersey with the leaping tip. Charles lost it. And the applause for Kersey. The hustle by Kersey, it drew the foul on Childs.
And Nick Van Exel, who took, I thought, what was a bad three-point shot in transition, but did not quit on the play. Immediately reacted to the defensive part of things and got over there and actually forced that fumble by Childs.
Jones leading. Will not count. It's a traveling violation. Travis Knight, 7-foot rookie out of Connecticut, a first-round draft pick of the Chicago Bulls, but they renounced his rights, signed by the Lakers as a free agent, and he has blossomed in his first NBA season.
And on that play, Del Harris started walking down the bench, asking his assistants, his players, was that a walk? That didn't look like a walk. I didn't think it was a walk.
Little traveling pole being taken by Del Harris. Eddie Jones so deceptive off the dribble. Big Dallas sending him to New Jersey as part of that blockbuster deal, and the Nets dealing him to Joe Klein. Patrick Ewing able to put it down, and the Knicks lead 16-14, 7 points for Ewing. The Lakers had to wait for Joe Klein to pass his physical as a member of the Nets, and then McCloud would be eligible to play. Well, that has taken place, and George is in the lineup. A three-point threat, which Del Harris said he'd been looking for. It will open things up, particularly when Shaquille O'Neal makes his return.
Well, the Lakers have done a fabulous job of shoring up that area of their game. And Patrick Ewing with his second straight field goal coming out of that timeout, as I think the Knicks want to go at Eldon Campbell as much as possible, get another personal foul. But picking up Byron Scott in the beginning of the year, picking up Robert Horry, now they have some solid three-point shooting to augment Shaq's inside game.
Jerry West, the general manager of this team, has done an excellent job in looking to put the pieces around Shaquille O'Neal, and that strong backcourt. Traveling violation is called.
Coming out of the timeout, little pick and roll fake, and it's a back pick set on Campbell, and no help inside as Charles Oakley laid it right up there perfectly. And here just Campbell falling asleep trying to protect in the lane, and Patrick always feels so much more comfortable facing the basket at about 17 feet.
And now Patrick Ewing sitting down, replaced by Buck Williams. Indecision by Oakley, and then played tightly by Knight. Here's Johnson finding Buck Williams, but he stepped on the baseline. Sixth turnover committed by the Knicks.
A good move by Jeff Van Gundy. Not only just Patrick Ewing maybe needs a rest at this point anyway, but sees an opportunity where he can get Larry Johnson involved and match him up against George McCloud, who is not here for his defense. I was talking to George before the game. If he knew any plays, he said they gave me a whole book. I have not one clue of what we're doing, other than I'm just going to stand out on the perimeter like I always do and wait for a pass.
Well, last year, George McCloud, the NBA's second leading three-point shooter as a member of the Dallas Mavericks, had an outstanding year. Eddie Jones brings the Lakers within 2. 6 points apiece for Jones and Campbell. Ewing leading the Knicks with 9. Houston on a quick release. And a loose ball foul. It is on Buck Williams. Sean Rooks will check in for the first time. A look at some of the earlier games. You see Detroit over Washington 85-79. Terry Mills 14 points and 14 rebounds. New Jersey defeating Boston, led by Kendall Gill with 24. The Nets still getting acquainted with one another. And in the first quarter, Seattle leads Utah 16-13. That's goal by Campbell. The Seattle Sonics on a good roll following the All-Star break. They have won 5 in a row.
And Charles Oakley taking exception to the move. That's why the crowd is booing right now, as Charles barked at referee Jimmy Clark, felt that the Eldon Campbell just knocked him out of the way, waved him off with the off arm.
turnovers. Childs stepped out, and here comes John Starks, who was not supposed to play this afternoon. It was thought he'd be out with that contusion to the right thigh. John tried to run around a pick in the game on Friday night and was clipped by a Terry Cummings knee in the game in Seattle. Iced it down all evening and said he could play. McCloud lost the grip. Starks from and it was deflected out by the Lakers.
A dangerous pass by Charles Oakley, a nifty looking one, but John Starks really not in a position to do anything when he caught it. But so far the Knicks have really been coming up with some bizarre turnovers. 7 already in this first quarter, 24 the other night in Seattle.
Well, it's a team that has been among the leaders in that department right throughout the season. We are down to 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The game tied at 18. And the Knicks will hold for a final shot of the quarter. Buck Williams for Charles Oakley to draw the foul.
A terrific catch by Buck Williams, who has that very sore finger on his right hand, as Charles Oakley threw a high, hard one. A wicked fastball, but Buck was able to catch it and then make the nice little return back to the cutting Charles Oakley, who just does not have enough lift to get that ball up to the rim. But talking about the turnovers of New York, Marv, actually the Knicks for the first 25 games averaged about 18 turnovers a game, right at the top of the league, or you should say the bottom of the league. In the last 29 games, must be averaging around 14 because they've got it down to 16. So it is an improvement on the part of New York, but they're starting to fall back into those bad habits once again.
6 2/10 seconds to go in this first quarter. The Knicks with a 2-point lead. Van Exel being pressed in the backcourt. Van Exel fired. Ewing. Well, the Knicks have missed their previous 6 shots. And Patrick Ewing, I would think, feels he can have a pretty free time of it out there against the combination of Travis Knight, and we'll have to see who else Del Harris might use with Eldon Campbell picking up a 3rd foul. Here's Kersey. Jerome Kersey on target, and the game is tied at 22.
Well, after Patrick made that last field goal, he running down the floor, looked over to Jeff Van Gundy as much to say, get me the ball inside right now. It's Sean Rooks watching Ewing.
Buck Williams going with the left hand. Oh, the rebound and fouled by Rooks, but they have settled down. Starks with the room for 3. Yes. So John Starks, who missed his first 3, able to hit, and the Knicks now lead 27-26.
Much better job of the Knicks, and Charlie Ward recognizing that half-court trap was coming and executed nicely.
Racing back and deflected it off Starks. Terrific play by Jerome Kersey.
A nice little layout pass by Charlie Ward. I'm sure he did that many, many times at Florida State to little guys running out of the backfield, but that loft on that pass enabled Kersey to get back into the play.
Nice ball movement from the Lakers. Starks off the rebound. Here is Houston for 3. Knicks by 1. 5 minutes gone by in the second quarter.
Allen Houston has had some good looks at the basket from beyond the arc, and he's just short on everything. Has not gotten his legs into the shot yet.
Here's Jones. And Jones has been off. Oh, Jones diving along with Starks. And it will be. Here's Houston for 3. Allen Houston has 8 points. That is his second from downtown, and the Knicks have a 1-point lead.
Set up by one of the few offensive rebounds for New York. Shooting the ball terribly at 31%. Lakers not much better than that.
They trapped Ewing, a dangerous pass, but Houston came away with it. Here's Starks on the run. Challenges Rooks. John Starks scoring right at the 6'10". Sean responds to the rejection by. Knicks come in, winners of 7 of their last 8, 10 of the last 12 games. John Starks with his third bucket. He's 3 of 7. He has 7 points. And the Knicks recapture the lead. The Knicks were in the midst of their best stretch of the season until the poor performance against the Sonics in Seattle on Friday night. This is game 3 of a 6-game road trip. Oakley on the save. Nice play by Charles Oakley. Johnson, played by Knight. Oakley is open. Yes. Charles Oakley, who has the outstanding touch from outside, hitting on a second field goal. It's the Knicks by 3.
It almost appeared that Larry Johnson was begging for the double team to come. He will always pass it out when he gets double teamed. The Lakers oblige and wind up getting a wide open look for Oakley.
And certainly a different story in the way the Knicks have been reacting to the double team as opposed to what took place Friday night against Seattle. Starks for 3. The Knicks open up a 6-point lead. So John Starks, who was not supposed to play this afternoon, has been a major contributor. He has 10 points. Brooks able to save the dribble, fired one. Fortunate Kersey was right there. And here's Kersey. Bad decisions being made by the Lakers. Oh, the strip by Kersey. Brooks with the rebound. And Ewing runs it down. Patrick Ewing has 13 rebounds. Childs for 3. He beat the buzzer. Beat the halftime buzzer. And Chris Childs looking over at his buddy Keyshawn Johnson of the New York Jets, who is seated to our left. That was the look for Keyshawn. 10-0 run.
Half-court offense when the ball goes into Campbell because the Knicks are not double-teaming him.
Houston off the dribble. Allen Houston with 10 points, and he has come a long way since the difficulties earlier in the season. Spent 3 years with Detroit, signed with the Knicks as a free agent. Kersey has played well. He's hustled. He has 8 points. He has 5 rebounds. And the Knicks lead is now 7. Oakley, Campbell on the box out. Eldon Campbell had a notion as he put it on the floor. Shot clock at 4. And a 3-second violation.
And Del Harris barking at his team right now, really disappointed with that half-court set as the Lakers never really got into anything. Thought that Eldon Campbell could bail them out by getting the ball inside. He never turned anything up.
Chris Childs, Allen Houston in the backcourt, Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, Larry Johnson up front.
Oh, Patrick Ewing almost had too much time on that one, fingering the seams, reading the label, was hoping somebody would put a hand in his face.
George McCloud is getting set to come back in, played briefly in the first half. And now McCloud being waved on. Another Laker turnover.
And Del Harris searching for something at the offensive end, hoping maybe that George McCloud, who really doesn't have a practice under his belt, can come in and at least spread the floor a little bit for Los Angeles and stretch that defense and maybe give Campbell some more opportunities inside.
McCloud played 3 minutes in the first half and looked like he was trying to get acquainted with his new ball club. Here's Johnson.
And the Knicks waste no time going right at George McCloud with Larry Johnson, but he helps him out by taking a fadeaway jump shot.
McCloud putting the moves on Johnson, and he's blocked. Not much much happening, folks, in this third quarter at either end. Here's Childs. Well, Chris Childs able to drive the lane, and the Knicks now lead 52-43.
Not only drive the lane, but go 1-on-5, basically.
Good play by Ewing stepping out. Campbell recovered. Van Exel for three. And Ewing with another rebound. That's number 15. Houston fired. Yes. And it leads to a Laker timeout. Del Harris wants to talk it over. 8:37 remaining in the third. And the Knicks with their biggest lead of the game. They're up by 12.
Well, basically, this is a 2-on-5 play. It's Oakley in and around the basket. Allen Houston didn't have any other thought.
Three. Rebounded by Johnson. Houston, he's been hot. Another three for Allen Houston. That's his fourth from downtown. And the Knicks are 7 of 10 from three-point range.
Well, that's when so many three-point shots will open up for you after an offensive rebound with the defense all collapsed in the lane. Shooters love it to just get their feet set.
Campbell has stopped. An awkward back-in move attempted by Eldon Campbell. Charlotte spinning. The crowd enjoyed it. And you can hear the large contingent of Knicks fans, transplanted New Yorkers, here at the Forum, and they respond to the Knicks taking a 13-point lead. McCloud for three, yes! George McCloud with his first field goal as a Los Angeles Laker, and that is his specialty from downtown. Knicks lead by 10. Ewing with the run. Houston, fake. Last touch by the Lakers.
Once again, Patrick Ewing got that kick-out pass and too wide open again. He's like looking around for some kind of defense to come to him. But Allen Houston, Chris Childs taking opportunities to drive the ball into that tall front line of the Lakers every chance they get.
Holding foul on that inbounds pass. It is on Travis Knight. That is his first. Ewing played once again by Campbell. Del Harris shuffling. Campbell and Knight and Rooks. Ewing throwing up an air ball and popped out of bounds. Last touch by the Lakers. Now the officials conferring, and it will be Nick Ball.
Well, Patrick Ewing feels he got fouled on this play, and you can see why. He got hacked across the arm by Eldon Campbell. But what set up that good post position for Ewing was Childs being patient, getting the ball back out the first time and throwing it back into Ewing.
Ewing with the drop step, played well by Campbell. Ewing has missed his last 6 shots. He has not scored in the third quarter. Knight whipping by Oakley and foul. Good move by Travis Knight. Got the step on Charles Oakley, and the foul committed by Allen Houston.
Well, Charles Oakley, one of the best team defensors in the whole league, and sometimes when he has to come out and make that team defensive play, he overcommits, and the players in the league know that, and that's the one area defensively where he can be beaten off the dribble.
The Knicks have a 10-point lead halfway through the third quarter. And Exel looking for help, wants him hit. No one coming over. Goes to the crossover, pops it up. Well, he's upset with his teammates. Here's Houston ahead. It counts, and the foul. Allen Houston with 18 points, and he's going to the line.
Well, Marv, a lot of that indecision at the Laker end was because George McCloud on the floor really doesn't know where he's supposed to be. But one of the other Lakers, the other three, should react. Allen Houston getting ahead of the play there, taking the bop behind the head as the Knicks, the one area where they want to improve this second half is get transition baskets like that. They're happy with their half-court offense. They think it's as solid as any in the league, with the exception maybe of the Chicago Bulls. But where they have to get more is in transition.
Allen Houston with 11 of his 19 points in this third quarter. The Knicks lead by 13. And that is their biggest lead of the game. Another Laker turnover. Ewing's pass picked off. He was off balance, but thought he'd be able to complete it. Jones for three. Eddie Jones with 11 points. And the Knicks now have a 63-53 advantage. Crowd trying to get the Lakers back into it. Oakley with the roll. Charles Oakley.
And he'll create here in New York. It's inside, outside.
Larry Johnson with his third field goal. He has 6 points. Knicks 67 and the Lakers 53. There was a game back in mid-December in Detroit where Allen Houston had a very difficult time against his former mates. And since then, things have changed. He decided to become more aggressive. In fact, used the example of John Starks. He says, I have to play more like John Starks. As it turns out, Starks was the starter. Houston took his job. They have had a terrific relationship. 3-second violation is called on Oakley, but Houston used the example. He's certainly not going to play John Starks' style, but he felt he had to pick it up from the offensive point of view, similar to what Starks tries to do.
Well, it's the same philosophy for any shooting guard, and that's exactly what Allen Houston is. You can't worry about bad shooting games or how the crowd's reacting to it. You have to take shots because you have to make a decent percentage of them.
3:40 left in the third. Eldon Campbell again backing in. They have surprised himself he was able to get that close to the basket.
Well, it's a good defensive maneuver not to let the offensive player feel you, and that's what Patrick Ewing did there. He just backed off, so Eldon Campbell had nothing to lean against. He almost traveled on the play.
Oakley, played by Knight. Charles Oakley with 10 points, and the Knicks with a hot shooting third quarter, and they're hitting the perimeter shots. Knicks lead 69-55. McCloud and on a double team. Shot clock at 4. Jones for 3. Eddie Jones showing some signs. That's his second straight three-pointer. The Knicks lead is now 11. Oakley. Excellent Jones in the backcourt. Campbell, McCloud, and Knight up front. Nice pass. Knight on the tip. Lakers have had a number of opportunities. They have all. Johnson able to lay it home as Ewing and Jones went down on the collision.
Yeah, but with George McCloud on the floor, there's just no way that the Lakers can be in sync. So you really have four guys who know what's going on, and George McCloud, in some respects, trying to stay out of the way, but then also keep himself open.
Just under 2 minutes to go in the third. Here's Jones for 3. Sean Rooks checking back in, replacing Travis Knight, who leads with 8 points, 7 rebounds.
Well, Eldon Campbell, for the most part, has been single covered by Patrick Ewing. You saw Patrick just back away, although Eldon was so close to the basket, it's probably not a good time to do it. And this was just a happy result for the Lakers, taking the 3 with the shot clock winding down, but no execution whatsoever on the part of the Lakers.
Buck Williams has replaced Patrick Ewing, and it's Salvatore with the foul call. It is a hold on Johnson. 13 points, 16 rebounds. Ewing with his 13 points in the first half, but has done the job off the boards. Here's John Starks, who provided a spark with 10 points in the second quarter. John Starks was not supposed to play today because of a bruised thigh. Childs for Williams, and he's fouled. So the Knicks now with a lineup of Childs, Starks, and Houston. They go to the 3 guards with Oakley and Williams.
And what a pickup for the Knicks this year with Buck Williams. Spent most of his career with the New Jersey Nets and the Portland Trailblazers, and I don't think the Knicks ever felt that they were going to get this much out of him. Not only his production out on the floor, but what he means in the locker room, his professional approach, and I think just his mentality and attitude has really picked up the rebounding of the Knicks. Not only defensively, but offensively as well. And what a 16-year career it's been for Buck Williams.
The Knicks had hit their previous 10 free throws. Minute and a half to go in the third. The rookie from Arkansas Little Rock, Derek Fisher, in at point guard with the ball, played by Childs. Fisher making his first appearance of the game. Here's Campbell, fouled by Williams. We mentioned the fact that John Starks is playing is a surprise to all, particularly his teammates. On Friday night in the game against Seattle, trying to fight his way through a pick right here, took the hip check from Terry Cummings of the Seattle Sonics and suffered a contusion to his right thumb. John, a very tough guy, does not like to sit out. And he was saying yesterday he was going to play today.
And don't forget, John had that clavicle shoulder injury a while back, and that still jumps up and gives him some pain from time to time. But as you said, Marv, he almost thrives on playing hurt.
Byron Scott, 14-year veteran out of Arizona State, has come on for the first time. Houston putting the move on Scott. 13-point Nick Lee. So Scott and Fisher at the guards with McCloud and Brooks and Campbell. A three for McCloud. That's his second from downtown. The Nick lead is now 10.
That's why the Lakers brought him. It does not take him very long to release that shot. He's so comfortable from beyond the arc.
Oakland. Good setup from Childs. Charles Oakley hitting the outside shot. He has 12 points in all. 10 assists now for Chris Childs. Half minute to go in the third. Campbell. Well, that's too easy from the Knicks point of view, as Eldon Campbell was able to go the lane and lay it up with the left hand.
That shows you the versatility, though, that Eldon Campbell has. Not just a post player. He can face the basket, make the 15 to 17-foot jump shot. He showed you there. He can put it on the deck and get to the basket.
Knicks playing the clock down. Shot clock at 5. Starks. Final seconds of the third as Fisher looks for the shot and is blocked at the buzzer by Houston. After 3, the Knicks 73 and the Lakers 60.
10 rebounds, but we need him, you know, to do the other role just as well. One's as important as the other.
He has painted quite a scenario. The Broadway guy, the sore throat. Very interesting concept by Del Harris.
Eldon gets everything but Shaq's paycheck. Not that Eldon's is too shabby either.
Well, Patrick Ewing now 6 of 6 at the line. That's his first point in the second half. Off the board, 16 today. And John Starks replacing Allen Houston. Houston with 19 points and the enormous third quarter. Knicks effective at the foul line today and now lead 75-67. Minute and a half gone by in the fourth quarter. Scott. Byron Scott with the challenge shot. And the Knicks lead is down to 6. Ward and Childs and Starks in a 3-guard alignment, along with Williams and Ewing. Ewing shooting over the double team and fouled by Rooks.
Well, in the last few years, Byron Scott has been primarily a three-point specialist, but he can put it on the floor, as he was forced to do in that situation and forced to take that off-balance shot. Another look at Byron Scott getting through the seam of the defense and being very creative there.
Byron Scott back with the Lakers, his 11th season as a member of the Lakers. Last year he was with Vancouver, averaging 10 a game. Spent some time with the Indiana Pacers. Ewing connecting on 1 of 2, and the Knicks now lead 76-69.
Especially in situations like this, you're coming from behind. You need shooters on the floor, and Del Harris is making sure that he had McCloud in there for a while. Now he's got Byron Scott, who of course is a veteran and has all kinds of experience in that situation.
Campbell changed his mind. Fisher avoiding Ward.
And that miss will get Del Harris walking down the bench looking for Nick Van Exel.
Childs picked up on the switch by Rooks. He was looking for a mismatch. Shot clock at 5. Ewing. Ewing off the recovery. Knicks getting the ball movement. Starks hits the 3. This is the kind of ball movement that the Knicks were able to get in Sacramento in the first of this Western swing. And they beat the Kings by 22, but they were handcuffed by the Sonics on Friday night.
Well, you will get good ball movement when a defense has to scramble like the Lakers were in that situation. The other night against Seattle, the Sonics were scrambling, but very quick to recover and just bothered and challenged just about every shot that the Knicks took.
Foul on Ewing. That is his 3rd. Over to talk with Jeff Van Gundy and Eldon Campbell at the line. Campbell is 8 of 10 from the free throw line. 19 points. He has come on strong in the second half.
Jeff Van Gundy reminding his team right now, be ready for the half-court trap. Most cases, the Knicks have handled it pretty well, but when they turn the ball over out near midcourt, top of the key, it'll generally turn into an easy fast-break layup going the other way.
The Knicks lead 81-71. 4 minutes in. 4th quarter. Starks had it poked away. Scott leads the 3-on-2. Jones fouled. He was blocked.
Now that trap came a little bit late, a little bit delayed, but John Starks trying to dribble through it, and that is always dangerous. The ball deflected and knocked loose, and the Lakers go the other way. The best way to attack that trap is pass the ball generally into the middle of the floor as soon as you can, and then reverse it, and then the defense is on their heels.
Foul on Childs. Jones 3 of 4 at the line, now has 16 points. The Knick lead is 8.
And Jeff Van Gundy talking to the official about a possible illegal defense in this trap, letting the official to keep an eye out for it.
Here's Ewing. Ewing does not have the touch in the second half. Scott. Byron Scott providing a lift for the Lakers. The Knicks now lead 81-76. Illegal defense for the first time against the Lakers.
So Jeff Van Gundy's lobbying worked in that situation. He just crossed midcourt and swung the ball. Del Harris said, hey, we just started to move out. But Bennett Salvatore had it in his ear and in his mind to keep an eye out for the illegal defense. And a good play by Jeff Van Gundy to call for it.
7-0 run by the Lakers the last minute. Childs. Blocked by Knight. Travis Knight on the rejection. It will be Nick Ball. They have 14 on the shot clock.
On the scrambling defense of the Lakers, but in this instance, able to recover as Childs. Normally, that's the smart play. Take it to the other side of the rim, but he took it right into the waiting long arm and hand of Travis Knight.
Allen Houston is back. He's replaced Charlie Ward. Houston inbounding. Starks for 3. And shot. He thought it was foul, but he challenged Eldon Campbell, who had stepped out defending him, and he forced it. Jones shaking off Starks, who's called for the foul. That's his second. And the Knicks are over the limit.
A frustration foul on the part of John Starks. Still smarting, still upset about the non-call at the other end. And this is typical of John Starks, sometimes not letting other plays get out of his mind. Here, just getting all tied up with Eddie Jones.
So with the Knicks over the foul limit, Jones will shoot a pair. The Lakers chipping away, down by as many as 14.
Del Harris giving out a different defensive signal this time to his team, taking off the half-court trap. This one might be a three-quarter trap as he put up a double two fingers.
Double two.
22.
Well, with the crowd chanting Eddie Jones brings the Lakers within 3. 7 minutes remaining in the fourth. Ewing feeling the contact. 11-2 run. Oakley off a pretty pass from Ewing, so the Knicks lead is back to 5.
No force there as the double team came, but nobody on the weak side plugging in the lane, and Charles Oakley did the wise thing, go right to the rim.
Jones looking for Knight. Thought Knight might cut. Starks off the steal. Bad pass. And Scott pegs it down. Here's Jones. Fouled by Oakley. Basket won't count.
Well, the big guy, Travis Knight, shows he not only does the garbage work inside around the basket, can get out on the floor at 17 feet, fill the lane, and finish off the play. And the reason why this is a bad pass behind Allen Houston is John Starks trying to make that pass on the run and leaving his feet. And then a hard foul by Charles Oakley to send Eddie Jones to the line.
The Lakers 11 for 11 at the line in this fourth quarter. Here's Larry Johnson replacing John Starks. Departs with 13. The Knicks 85 and the Lakers 82. Knicks have led most of the way, leading by as many as 14.
You saw John Starks upset with himself for that turnover, but also upset taken out of the game. He wants to be in at crunch time.
Houston around Scott, who lost his balance. Here's Johnson for 3. Just didn't get a piece of the rim. Ewing, yes, and it counts. Foul committed by Travis Knight. The Knicks lead is now 5, and Ewing is headed to the line. A reminder on NBC tonight at 7:30, 6:30 Central, for the first time on television, an unforgettable motion picture event. Schindler's List, winner of 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. Schindler's List, brought to you with no commercial interruptions. Brought to you by Ford. Tonight at 7:30 Eastern on NBC. Certainly one of the remarkable motion pictures. Schindler's List, that's tonight right here on NBC. The Knicks lead 87-82. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Knicks back to the starting lineup. Johnson, Ewing, Oakley up front. Childs and Houston at the guards. Here's Houston. Yes.
Well, the Lakers.
A season series with the Lakers. Ewing. Patrick Ewing with the rebound and the bucket. That's 20 rebounds for Ewing. That equals his season high. His career high is 26. And the foul committed by Oakley.
Don't forget last year the Knicks dead last in offensive rebounding, and what a turnaround as they are much more aggressive. And Patrick Ewing doing a job on the offensive glass, but I think it's the addition of Larry Johnson, who is offensive rebound minded. Buck Williams also the same thing. Charles Oakley can do it very well. So an attitude has developed among the Knicks that this is where they can get a lot of easy baskets. It's hard work, but it turns into good scoring opportunities when you hit the glass.
Patrick Ewing, 24 points, 20 rebounds. Knicks now lead 94-86. Knicks trying to make it 8 wins the last 9 games and a record of 40-15. They come in a game and a half behind Detroit. Detroit beating Washington earlier today. 2 games behind the Miami Heat. Miami plays tonight against Denver. Allen Houston using the pick to slice his way through. Oh, what a move by. Oh, down by 2. Here's Jones. Ran it to Ewing. Campbell. 2 and 5 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter of the Knicks call for time. Open shot for Oakley. Yes. And the game is tied at 108.
And that shot has been there for Charles Oakley because the man guarding him, Travis Knight, is collapsing on defense and trying to help out and getting to Oakley way too late on the recovery.
A minute 35 to go in overtime. Eldon Campbell with 33 points. Byron Scott, he's been on fire. Yes! He is 5 for 5. That was a 2-pointer. Lakers lead 110-108. A minute 20 left in overtime. Oakley with the pick. Here's Childs. And he's tied the game at 110.
Beautiful counter move by Chris Childs. That time not taking the pick, reversing in the lane, and this man not afraid to take the big shot.
And Exo banking Childs. Down to 1 minute to go. In OT, Jones. Ewing had it knocked away, and Oakley able to clutch it. Childs on the run. And foul. Let's stop the break. It is a non-shooting foul.
Here's Chris Childs getting that feed from the double team on Larry Johnson as it hit rim, top of backboard rim, and cuddles in again as he said, I'll take it. I'll take it if I had a lot pop out on me like that. And then the pick and pop for Charles Oakley as nobody rotates to him. Travis Knight cannot get back. And now Byron Scott under all kinds of pressure. Good defense by Allen Houston, but still able to knock it down. And you'll remember the end of regulation. He made a big 3-pointer against all kinds of pressure defense. A beautiful spin move by Chris Childs, not using the pick as the left.
The Knicks trailing by 4 points. Ewing, yes, and it counts. What a beautiful move by Ewing. In particular, when you consider this stage of the game, we're in a second overtime, and yet he has enough stamina facing a double team right here as Jones trying to help out. Goes glass across the foul.
And spinning away from that double team beautifully. And, you know, if you're a big man in this particular game, you got to be leery about going to the basket because the officials, for the most part, have let them play and let them bang away at each other. Patrick Ewing not afraid in that situation at all.
And the foul on Campbell, that's 5 on Campbell. The Knicks are down by 1. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the second overtime. Campbell draws the foul. It's on Johnson. That's 3 on Johnson. Eldon Campbell playing 45 minutes. Nick Van Exel has gone 51. Patrick Ewing, 48 minutes of play, 46 apiece for Allen Houston and Chris Childs. A lot of guys will be sleeping very well this evening.
Well, you can just see on the face of Eldon Campbell how exhausted he is, but yet he is still playing both ends of the floor, and he looks like he wants the ball every time the Lakers go into their half-court offense.
The Lakers 117 and the Knicks 115. Ewing sets the pick. Johnson not even looking for the shot. And a foul again. Jones coming over looking to help. And he's called for the personal. That's 3 on Eddie Jones.
You make a good point, Marv, as Larry Johnson is the guy that's going to get the ball up top. They're going to either have him to swing the ball, but when he's that wide open, he has to be offensive-minded or don't be in that position.
Down to 2.5 left in the second overtime. Starks, Houston, and Childs on the floor now. A 3-guard setup. Been a battle of the centers. Patrick Ewing able to tie it. It's been a duel between Campbell And Ewing, 29 for Ewing. They try to trap Jones. Now Campbell played by Johnson and threw a blind pass. Very fortunate that it was deflected out by Ewing.
Oh, beautiful recovery by Patrick Ewing, as Travis Knight probably made a mistake there by not coming harder towards that pass.
Van Exel throwing in. Van Exel for Scott. The Knicks got caught on the inbound. Lakers lead 119-117. Just under 2 minutes left in the second overtime. Ewing overnight. Yes. The game is tied at 119. 31 for Ewing. Scott played by Houston. Again, the screen and roll with Campbell able to take advantage of the height mismatch.
Well, that's why the Knicks are afraid to come out hard on Eldon Campbell to stop that jump shot, because he has shown the ability that he can put it on the floor and go towards the basket.
The Lakers have hit all 5 shots in overtime. They keep going to the same play with Campbell on that screen and roll. He taps in the foul. What a move by Ewing. He has tied the game at 121, and he has also fouled out Eldon Campbell.
Well, we have seen Patrick Ewing lately in games giving the ball up at crunch time. Not in this case. He wants it every time down the floor. He's being extremely aggressive, taking the ball to the basket, taking the jump shot. Patrick Ewing wants this game on his shoulders. Here he's got Campbell, and this may be the biggest play for the Knicks, finally getting the hugest thorn in their side, Eldon Campbell, out of this game and on the bench.
Career high, 40 points, 10 rebounds for Campbell. 3-point play for Ewing. And the Knicks lead 122-121. 34 for Ewing. A minute 5 left in the second overtime. Sean Rooks has come on for Eldon Campbell. Jones to the fadeaway. Ewing with the rebound. 24 rebounds for Ewing. That is a season high. Knicks by 1 with the ball. Out of 40 seconds. Johnson. Larry Johnson. Extending to a 3-point Knick lead, and a timeout taken by the Lakers. 35
And foul.
And that's the case right here, but Ewing comes up with the rejection of Eddie Jones. 4 block shots for Patrick Ewing. And the foul given by the Lakers.
Well, Eddie Jones finding a seam in the defense, trying to get in and create something, but by leaving his feet, left himself very little options except try to put up a kind of a leaning little shot on the way down, and Patrick Ewing ate it right up as he was lying in wait for Eddie Jones.
Chris Childs missed a couple of key free throws earlier. It has been a classic confrontation. Ewing with a good play to sweep it aside, and that's it. In double overtime, the Knicks defeat the Lakers here at the Forum, 127-121. The Knicks have made it 8 of 9, a record of 40-15. The Lakers go to 38-16. Eldon Campbell with a career-high 40. Patrick Ewing with 34 points. Again, the final. Knicks 127, Lakers 121 in overtime. For Matt Kukas and Marv Rashad, I'm Marv Albert. So long from LA.